simple terms, more people voted in the Maharashtra assembly elections than there are adults in Maharashtra. This is a fact. The election commission gave us a figure, voting figure for 5:30 in the evening. And between 5:30 in the evening and 7:30 in the evening, when the poll was supposed to have closed, 65 lakh voters voted. Now, that is physically impossible to happen. So it's very clear to us that the election commission is compromised. It's very clear that there is something very wrong with the system.
So the surprising thing is that the so-called defenders of democracy, which are the United States, European countries, seem to just be oblivious that a huge chunk of the democratic model has come undone.
You became part of the United States. I'm sure you're proud of India and you're proud of the fact that you live in America. अब बीजेपी के सिस्टम में आपकी दो आइडेंटिटीज हो ही नहीं सकती. You cannot be Indian and at the same time be American.
India has an employment problem. There are many countries in the world that don't really have an employment problem. China certainly doesn't have an employment problem.
Caste is a central issue, it's a fundamental issue. So I don't think the idea of untouchability exists anywhere else.
That we have a group of people in India who are absolutely convinced that they know everything. In fact, I think they think maybe they know even more than God. They could sit down with God and have a conversation and explain to him, about what is going on. And of course, our Prime Minister is one such specimen. How would you react if something, a structure 3.5 times Europe suddenly went non-democratic? Right? That's happened already.
When you hear about lynchings in India, when you hear about attacks on Dalits in India, when you hear about attacks on minorities in India, that's the reason for it. That a huge, powerful transformation, which is frankly shaping the entire world, requires certain protections for its people.
Hatred, anger and violence and the politics of polarization which has raised its ugly head in India today. Violence and hatred distract people from the task at hand. Liberal journalists being shot, people being lynched because they are Dalits, Muslims killed on suspicion of eating ginger.